It may be light out, but we're gonna fill the darkness in our souls today, okay? We're talking dark romance, baby. Oh my God, this is so obnoxious. I keep on meaning to go clean all of these up. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. It's been a while since I've done a rec video. However, I'm so sorry. I can't find the comment now. If I find it before I get this up, I'll add it down below. But there was someone a while back now, this is kind of bad, it was last year, maybe in November or December, that asked for dark romance recommendations. So I'm here to give it now. I kind of had my December videos all planned out, so I didn't really have time to slot it in there, but we're slotting it in January here and getting some out. Also, someone had asked for slow burn recommendations. I have that video coming, that'll be coming later on in the month, but I do have that one coming as well. So, let's talk about dark romances though. I read a lot of dark romances and I have read a lot of dark romances. So I did have a lot to choose from for today, but for my recommendation videos, if you guys are new, I do try to keep them around 5 to 7 books a piece, because I get overwhelmed when I'm watching recommendation videos when someone recommends 10 plus books, because if I haven't read a lot of them, then I end up screenshotting so many and I it gets overwhelming for me. So for me personally, I keep mine between the 5 and 7 range, just so that way it's a little smaller to digest at a time, but I have so many more. I have a lot of dark romances. So if you guys want to see another video of this, please let me know. Or if there are other trope recommendations you want to see, please leave them down below. I've already done student teacher, brother's best friend, and boyfriend's dad's romances. I'm pretty sure those are all the specific tropes that I'm done. So anyways, dark romances. I have 6 today. I'm so excited. I truly, I feel giddy to record this. I don't know. I'm just I'm in a good mood today. Also, Arya, do you want to say hi? Okay, just show off your butt. Also, you have cardboard literally stuck in your fur. Does anyone else have long-haired cats? Because I never had long-haired cats before, and I didn't realize how dirty they get. They get everything stuck in their fur. The joys of motherhood. First up, we have one of my favorites that just narrowly missed my favorites of 2021 list, but I love this book so much, and I've talked about it a lot lately, but I'm gonna reiterate it again, and that's Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. So this follows Cora and Dean. So they've known each other since they were in about high school, but they have never liked each other. They've never gotten along, so this is enemies to lovers, and Dean is actually engaged to Cora's sister. So also forbidden in that aspect as well, but this is dark. So I tried to also pick some on the scale of being, it's hard to sometimes judge, I guess, what is dark, because it's very subjective to people of what you would consider as a dark romance. I would say that this one is leaning towards it's pretty shady in here. You can't really see that well. It's kind of that level of dark. I'll try and kind of I guess describe the level of each one. But this one is you need a flashlight to be able to walk around. Cora and Dean are out one night with a bunch of other people at a bar celebrating something. I think it might be a birthday or something, but Cora is just not in a good place in her life. So she decides to stay afterwards when everyone else leaves to just keep drinking away her problems. And then when she's staying at this bar there, she meets this guy, they start talking, she starts getting a bit of a creep factor. She's like, you know what, I'm gonna go. And she cannot get anyone to give her a ride. So she eventually calls Dean, and Dean is like, fine, I'll come pick you up. He comes picks her up, and when they are leaving the bar on their way home, they are run off the road and both taken hostage. So when they wake up, they are now in a basement of a psychopath, a serial killer. So they are kept in captivity together. So obviously this is dark. They are kept by a person in his basement. And the things that they go through in this basement are horrible. The bond that is forged between the two of them in this basement is beautiful, but in horrible circumstances. It shouldn't have had to happen this way, but it did. So anyways, I don't want to say any more plot wise, but obviously it is dark, but truly the journey that Dean and Cora go on, not only together, but individually is, this book had my stomach in literal knots when I was reading it. I could not stop. I was I need to see how this all plays out. Obviously all of these books on here, you should check any trigger warnings. I would feel if you're looking for dark romances, you are aware that there are going to be darker themes or could be things that are triggering. So I would just highly recommend looking them up beforehand. Obviously do your research before you read anything, but yeah, this one is dark, but it's amazing and I love it so much. And Cora and Dean are literal soulmates. One of my all-time favorite books. Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. I got Amanda, one of my friends on Instagram, to read this, and she's reading it right now, and I'm living for all of her reactions to it, because it's just I just want to experience it for the first time again. So this one is a dark student-teacher BDSM romance. This one follows Emmerich and Ivory. And Ivory is a high school student. She's a very talented pianist. However, her home life is like really dark. Her dad passed away. Her mom, I can't remember if her mom is around, but like is very neglectful, or if her mom isn't even around anymore. However, her brother is around, but he is a literal piece of garbage on the bottom of the dirtiest, nastiest shoe you've ever seen. And he has garbage friends. And so obviously, Ivory's home situation is very, very bad. A lot of triggering things with Ivory and her life at home with her brother and his friend, and his whole situation, very dark. But music is her one escape. At school, she begins this like upper level, like very advanced piano music class with this teacher, with this very, very like experienced teacher, music teacher, very talented musician, Emmerich, Mr. Marceau, is that how you say it? I think it's French. I don't speak French. But anyways, Emmerich, and immediately he like takes note of Ivory for a few multiple reasons, but one is his interest in her. And they really just bond over music, and their relationship is really rooted in their love for music and their talent in that, which I personally love. I really like that they had something to connect with, to start with. Like they had a base of their relationship outside of just attraction. And so obviously it's very forbidden because she is still in high school. I do believe she's 18, but she is still in high school, and he's obviously like her teacher. That's forbidden and taboo by itself. I really love their relationship. I think the BDSM element in this book too really works with their relationship and like the relationship progression and getting Ivory to just trust people, specifically men in general again. And oh, it's so good. I will say there was not a trigger warning for animal violence for this book, so I will give a trigger warning for that. I tried to find the exact chapter, but this book literally does not have chapter numbers. Like there's no number. So I don't know, but I'm pretty sure when I had looked it up, because I had warned Amanda about it, I'm pretty sure it starts around like page 406, at least in the paperback copy. You kind of know when this confrontation is starting, but there is animal violence in here. That is my one and only trigger, so I wish that I would have known that going in here. So if that is a trigger for you, do know that going in here there is a scene of that. But I freaking love this. It has like so many elements that I love in a dark romance in here, and yeah, it's great. Go read it. Next is one where part 2 is on my TBR for this month. I'm going to read it soon, and that is Enthralled by Gianna Darling. This is the first book in the Enslaved duet. So Enamored is the second book. I haven't read it yet, but I do want to finish it soon. But this is the first one. Oh, okay. So Dark Notes, I would say again, it's a hazy, maybe like movie theater. Like movie theater when the screen isn't on, like there's a little bit of light, but like not a lot of light, but it's not super dark. That's kind of like that. Enthralled, I would say, is like you're literally in almost a pitch black room. It's dark, but oh, was I here for it? So this one follows Cosima. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think Cosima and Alexander. So when Cosima turns 18, she is sold to Lord Alexander to pay off her father's debts for 5 years for her to be a slave for him, basically. Yeah. I told you, we're getting pitch black here. So anyways, she is sold to him on her 18th birthday, and basically the contract is that she has to stay with him for 5 years in order to protect her family. And that's really her motive for this, is like she just wants to protect her mother and her sisters, and even her dad. We're not going to talk about him, garbage. But she really wants to protect the ones that she loves, so she agrees to it, kind of. So anyways, she goes to go stay with Lord Alexander in his manor, and yeah, he becomes her personal slave. It's dark. This definitely has more like dubcon in it, so if that's not your thing, definitely be aware of that. Like Dark Notes doesn't, like between Emmerich and Ivory, like that is always like consensual, but this one, like the dubcon element, especially at the beginning, is pretty prominent. So this one is like very strong enemies to lovers. It's not like captive, because she's not like kidnapped, but she is sold. So, you know, there is like that. There's definitely a power imbalance, but you know Cosima's gonna wiggle her way in to getting a foot up on Alexander. So I need to finish part 2 to then kind of see how it all wraps out, but I'm very excited to get around to it. Yeah, definitely the darkest Gianna Darling book I've read. Like the Fallen Men series, I wouldn't personally consider dark. I'd say Dead Man Walking is probably the darkest of that one. That's the 6th book in the Fallen Men series. But I wouldn't say that those are like particularly dark, but this one, yeah. She went there with it, but I appreciated it. Okay, next. So guys, I will warn you, this one ends on a huge cliffhanger and it has been haunting me ever since. So I will say the second book is due out this year. So if cliffhangers bother you, you might want to wait a little bit to read this one until the second book comes out. However, it's, oh, is it good? And that's Haunting Adeline by H.G. Carlton. So again, I'd say that this one is like, you need a flashlight. You need a flashlight in this one. So this one follows Adeline and Zaid. And Adeline is a writer and her grandmother passes away and she leaves like her house, but it's like kind of, I'd say it's more of like a manor, like a very like Victorian-esque, that's what I picture, like style house, like very old Gothic kind of vibes. And Adeline's mother is like literally, no, I don't want that. But Adeline's like, give it here. Adeline and her mother have like a bit of a contentious relationship, but Adeline's like, I want grandma's house. So she moves in and it's like in the middle of nowhere, very like dark, Gothic, woodsy, spooky vibes to it. As she moves in, she starts like learning some things about her grandmother and just kind of like family secrets, I guess. I will not touch more on that because you need to read it to find out. However, though, when she moves in, she starts noticing a man outside her window, a rose being left on her counter, scotch being drank from her bar, like things. She starts noticing things. Yeah, so this is a stalker romance. We got Zaid, our beautiful stalker. It's very like cat and mouse games. Again, some dubcon in here for sure. And definitely a slow burn. I mean, this is a thick boy. This is a slow burn romance. It takes a very long time, even for Zaid and Adeline, to have like any sort of confrontation because it is a lot of stuff of him watching her from afar and doing things. Like there's this one scene where Adeline is, you know, hanging out with this other dude. And let's just say Zaid does not like that. So yeah, there's some pretty graphic stuff in here. I'm so excited to see the next book, especially because this was just such a slow burn because obviously he's a stalker and he's stalking her. Like she's not just gonna immediately jump in bed with him. So yeah, I can't wait for the next one. But definitely if you're looking for a stalker romance, great place to start. Next up, Sicko by Amo Jones. This is a standalone. Oh my God, I read this last year. This was my first ever Amo Jones book. And I think it was a great place to start because this, I'm ready for more of her writing and some more of the darkness. I was warned that this was dark and twisted and it's dark and twisted. Again, I'd say you need a flashlight. So this one is foster siblings, childhood friends to, I guess like childhood siblings to enemies to lovers kind of deal. And also Motorcycle Club. So this one follows Jade and Royce, aka Sicko. So Jade is adopted into Royce's family, or like fostered, I guess, into his family when she's pretty young. I can't remember exactly how young, but right off the bat, Royce and her just like really connect and really start bonding as siblings. And he really kind of watches out for her and like has her back. And so the beginning part of this book is them when they are younger. I think Jade's maybe around like 15 and Royce and his friends are like 18 plus kind of. And you can just see the like love that she has for him and also the protective instincts that he has for her. And they're great friends when they're younger. And then one day she wakes up and Royce is gone. No reason, no explanation, no contact, nothing. And then he returns a few years later and he doesn't answer to Royce anymore. He answers to Sicko. He is the president of this MC. And he is definitely not the same older brother that she remembers. And Jade is definitely not the same younger sister that Royce left behind. Ooh, they both went through some dark things in their time apart. And obviously we learn about that as they learn about it and like reconnect again as they're older now. So good, so dark. Lots of triggers in this. I really admired Jade's strength, and her strength of character is really great in this. I like how almost balanced they are, that even though Royce is like now, or Sicko is like this big tough dude, that Jade can like hold her own against him. Like I appreciate that. Like they're both equally strong people. And I think that's an interesting power dynamic to watch on page. So yeah, really loved this. But be ready for a trip and a treat with this. Last of my dark romance recs today is The Game by LP Lovell and Stevie J. Cole. Oh, this one I had no idea what to expect going into it, and I had no idea where it was leading, and honestly that made it a very enjoyable reading experience because I truly hadn't read anything like it and didn't know what we were expecting. I would say, I mean, does this make me kind of like twisted to say that like I don't know, it's maybe like nighttime darkness, but you like the moonlight's shining in a little bit. I don't know. I don't personally think that this one is like that dark. I'd say it's one of the least dark ones on this list, but it's still dark. I don't know. Darkness is a subjective scale. To me though, I would definitely say that this is not that dark. I'd say it's the least dark on this list. But anyways, this one follows Ella. She recently broke up with her boyfriend. He left her for someone else. So she has nowhere to live, no apartment. I'm pretty sure, does she have a restraining order, or like, does he have a restraining order against her maybe? I think so. She has no money, no family, no friends, literally nothing. And she's in, I think, New York City, like all by herself. So she does not really know what to do. So when she is offered a meeting to go and meet with this mysterious guy, she's like, literally, why not? She thinks it's a job interview. So she shows up and these two men come out and give her a contract. And basically the contract is saying that she has 7 days, no questions asked. She does have like a set of rules. And if she follows all those rules and stays there for the 7 days and plays this game, she gets $1 million at the end. She ends up signing their contract and playing their game. So the game is definitely not what she originally suspected. She maybe suspected like a little more of just being like a submissive woman to these two men. And that is part of the case, but also they have some unexpected turns for her that she does not expect. So there's this whole like big rolling business dude like subplot of them with like some enemies within like business that come into play, but then there's also just the game itself. Like it's a very mindfuck for Ella, and like some of these choices that she has to make are like humanity choices that she kind of has to think about. It was very interesting because it even got me thinking of like, what would I do if I was her? And in these different situations, it makes you like question like morality and humanity and just different things. It was a fun time. It was definitely very different than anything that I've ever read. And it is fairly short. So if you're looking for something shorter and like quicker to read, you definitely could like read this in one sitting. It's something that like I think about it frequently. Like it pops back up in my head of being like, damn, that was different. Okay, that's it for now. That was 6 dark romance recommendations. As I said, I do have a ton more. So if this is like another trope video that you guys would want some more recommendations on, let me know. But also if there are other tropes, I'm totally open to doing more trope recs moving forward. I don't have a ton of them on here, surprisingly, but I'm kind of going back and forth with my upload schedule. I did like in December doing 2 a week. So I am kind of thinking of trying to do 2 a week in the new year here. That's kind of what I have budgeted for January. And February, I do only have kind of one planned out a week, but also I think it kind of depends on like my schedule and being able to keep up with it. But I mean, like these rec videos are like pretty easy for me to put together. It's like the reading vlogs that obviously take longer, but I'm definitely open to doing like way more trope videos on here. Just let me know what tropes you guys want. I did have one like a long time ago of like older woman, younger man. I think I've only read 2 books with that, so that's one that I would definitely need to like read more on. But if it's tropes that I've already read a lot on, I am open to doing whatever. So please let me know what you guys want to see, or if you have other ideas that you want to see from me, especially if I'm going to be doing 2 a week. Please let me know what you guys actually want to see from me, and not just me being like, I personally enjoy this, so I'm gonna make it. Like, let me know what you guys want to see. So yeah, that's it for today, and I will see ya when I see ya.